Hey everyone, today I am in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. More specifically, I believe it is Lansdale. It's either Lansdale or Tallamenson. And a friend of mine was telling me that there's an old log cabin here that was built in the mid 1700s. So of course I had to grab my camera and we are going to check that out. So I really don't know much about this. I believe it is called the Morgan Log House. In fact, I can see it on the sign from across the street. So hopefully there are some storyboards that tell us a little bit about this place. Spring has sprung, gotta love it. Okay, let's see, Morgan Log House. Okay, so Tallamenson Township, settled in 1708 by Welsh Quakers, Edward and Elizabeth Morgan. Wow, check that out. Grandparents of Daniel Boone. I didn't know that. And I believe the house that Daniel Boone was born in is somewhere in Pennsylvania as well. I know I've seen videos on this and I would love to go there someday, but this is not that place, but this is where his grandparents resided. So how cool is that? You can pause that and read it, but basically it says originally part of 308 acres of land settled in 1708 by Edward Morgan, a Welsh Quaker. By the 1930s, property was owned by Lewis C. Jones and operated a small dairy farm called Spring Willow Farm. So the gate's open, so I guess we're allowed to check this out. So that sign didn't exactly say when this was built, but I'll do some research like I do on most of my videos, and then I add it in the captions. So obviously this place is well maintained. They have a garden growing. So this garden is a smaller version of what would have been at the Morgan Log House in the 18th century. A time before grocery stores and pharmacies. So obviously this is in a residential area. I just think this is so cool. If you're into history, one of the great things about Pennsylvania is it's absolutely one of the earliest states. I guess that's pretty obvious, but there's a lot of history that you can find, and you know, from the early 1700s, sometimes even the 1600s. So obviously there's modern doors and modern windows on this place, but I'm assuming the wood is all original. At least I want to think it is. Maybe the bottom part is, and maybe that was added on. I don't know. Let's see, we have another. All right, so this is hard to read, but it says the lower field, the spring house was a one-room stone constructed building that originally was located on the lower field, closer to Weichel Road. I have a picture of a spring house, which I'm assuming was down here somewhere. The water of the spring maintained a constant cool temperature inside the spring house throughout the year. Yeah, that's tough to read. Anyway, let's look at the front of this house again. And then I'm going to go over there where I'm thinking that's still part of this park, I guess I want to call it. All right, so somewhere over here, I'm assuming, is where the spring house was. This would be the lower field. And I'm headed towards a creek over here. And I guess on the other side of that fence, then that's somebody's property, so we're not gonna go over there. All right, nice little stream here. Some pretty flowers. And of course I have to just kind of come down here and see if we find any remains from the past. Quite often when there's an old homestead by a stream or a creek, you find some old stonework. Because I want to think maybe this is where they would. Now just got stuck by some sticker bushes. I'm thinking maybe this is where they came to. I'm thinking maybe this is where they would walk down to wash their dishes, maybe clean their clothes. Sometimes when I'm walking along creeks like this, sometimes I find like, what am I trying to say here? Little pieces of pottery or old 19th century china. Of course, I don't have the best shoes on for this, and it's starting to rain, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be down here, but I'm going to try to make my way up to that culvert. These rocks are slippery. As I'm splashing along, I'm thinking, what are you doing? You're supposed to have like waterproof boots on for videos like this, which I do not. So I think I'm gonna head back up here, see if I can get over to that culvert from the top. I don't see any evidence of the spring house. So that must have been torn down, unfortunately. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that red shed over there is part of the park. And looks like we have an old silo over here. A small fenced off section. Okay, so I'm looking over the remains of 19th century barn, 1930s grain silo. The barn was a dirty barn, holding cows for Spring Willow Farm. Not sure what that means, a dirty farm? Aren't all farms sort of dirty? But you can see some stonework over there. Not sure if we're allowed back there. There is a fence, or I should say a gate. There is a gate. Doesn't appear to be locked, so I think I'm gonna venture in there. Well, this is just a waste of time. You can't read that at all. So this doesn't appear to be locked, but it's almost impossible to get that up. So this does not appear to be locked, but I'm really having trouble. I don't know, maybe it's bolted shut? Or I just have absolutely zero strength left in my hands. I'm gonna walk around this side of the fence. Maybe we can get closer over here. So I'm thinking that's maybe 45 feet high. That would be my best estimate. All right, I can squeak through here. And we see the old stonework. Actually, it's stonework, and then we have concrete here too. So I guess this part's not really all that old. I think it said it was from like the 1920s or 1930s. I see all these like shelves. I'm thinking bees, right? And I probably shouldn't be here. They're probably raising bees. I don't really need to get stung today, so. So there's really not much else to see here, but I thought it was kind of a cool place, and I'm definitely going to get on the computer and read up about this place a little bit, find out a little bit more about the history. And thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give the video a like, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and you have a great day. Take care, everybody. Oh, found these little mushrooms on the way out. A couple more. They look tasty.